Says your criminal liability. Now first let us try to understand what kind of question that comes in criminal liability. There is only two questions that comes in criminal liability. Answer of both the question is actually the same. Right? The first question that comes in the criminal liability, what are the principles of criminal liability? Right? So there is a very famous saying, a mind is, until and unless the mind is guilty, the act cannot be punished. That is the principle of criminal liability. So if the question is what is the principle of criminal liability, you will talk about that particular Latin code that I will also talk about. Now suppose the question comes, what do you mean by the constituent element of crime? So there are four constituent elements of crime. In that, the principle of criminal liability, that Latin doctrine consists of two elements, that is actus reus and mens rea. So either the question is what is the principle of criminal liability, or the question is what are the different constituent of crime. Both of them will start with the same Latin doctrine. The only difference would be that in the case of the constituent of the crime, what are the different constituent of the crime, you will have to talk about two more things. Getting my point? Understood? Second type of question that comes is the variable degree of mens rea. So in our IPC, or right now the BNS, there are multiple words that have been used to indicate mens rea. Knowingly, willingly, voluntarily. So these are basically indicating various degree of mens rea. So sometimes they ask you question in that, what is the difference between motive and intention? What is the difference between knowledge and intention? Right? So one question that you have almost similar answer is with regard to principle of criminal liability and the constituent element of crime. And second question that you have is with regard to the meaning of the word indicating mens rea. Getting my point? Understood? Now, even if you have a question whereby you are being asked the meaning of the word related to mens rea, ultimately those statements you can repeat in the mens rea as an individual element also. So, clear? Understood? So it means that there is only two kind of question that you can expect in topic number one. First is very general question, constituent element of crime or principle of criminal liability. Almost 60-70% content will overlap. And second question, you have very individual specific to the key words which indicates varying sets of mens rea, that is your intention, motive, knowledge, fraudulently, knowingly, willingly. Right? So in that obviously we will mostly deal with motive and intention, but these are also sometimes, like in 2013 there was a question, voluntarily do not means willingly. Comment. There was in 2013 there was a question, voluntarily do not means willingly comment. Right? But obviously after 2013 the syllabus changed and they have never asked such a question. But still, little bit we will dwell into it. What if they ask, right? So at least you should be able to write 10 marker. Now, if you look at the questions, you will also realize very interesting thing, that if they ask you question that is the principle of criminal liability, they ask generally in 10 marker. But when they ask you the different constituent of the crime, they generally ask in 20 marker. And this question, that is with regard to different sets of mens rea, they only ask in 10 marker. How motive differs from intention. Why intention is more relevant than motive. It means that the question related to different sets of mens rea, they only and only ask in 10 mark. So, structure clear हुआ syllabus का? Yes, everyone?